What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about TAO today, Bittensor USD. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 9th day of June, and here we are sitting at about $215. The last time that we talked about TAO, I believe we were in this range here, and I was absolutely talking about the price going down here to around, if not below, $200. And well, that's exactly what we did. We went just below $200. Here we are, just above it here at 215, right here at prior areas of resistance and prior areas of support. I don't expect this to end well. However, if we do move up from here, it's a possibility. We likely would find resistance at that next area of contention, which would be around $240, $250. So even if we do move up a little bit, it would be just that, a little bit, not too much. Um, let's move into it. Let's talk about the short term stuff, and then we'll zoom back out to the long term stuff. Okay, 1 hour time frame here. Now again, this is coming from somebody who was bearish here at these highs, who was bullish at the lows momentarily. I didn't think that we'd move up this high, but still somewhat bullish, and then bearish here as well. So we've been pretty accurate with our TAO calls over the past month and a half now. I do believe that TAO overall is going to work its way not just lower than this low, but lower than this low, and even below $100 at some point. I mean, you could go as low as $60 by the end of this bear market. I'll get into that by the end of the video, hopefully if I remember actually. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, we're going to focus on the short term stuff first, and then we'll talk about the long term stuff later. 1 hour time frame here. As you're moving down, volumes coming in, volumes dying off as you're moving lower. That suggests a shift, a pivotal shift. You can kind of see it happening here, and then boom, we move up. Not a whole lot of volumes come in as you've moved up. You do have this kind of ascending structure here. I'm not really impressed by it. It makes me think that you do want to go lower, but again, if you do move higher, this 240, 250 area does stand to provide resistance. So I mean, you could move up a little bit more. Let's look at the indicators and see what's going on here. 1 hour time frame, the RSI to me looks bearish. To me, looks like we've got lower lows and lower highs. You had this higher low formation, higher high formation. You have apparently broken out of it. Typically, these lower low, lower high formations, they end when you're oversold. So I would think that you get oversold, personally, which likely means that you go lower. If we look at the stochastics here, the stochastics have rejected the overbought zone. You are finding support at the 50, but I'm not impressed. You found support at the 50 just to get a lower high. It's on the 1 hour time frame. I'm not really wooed by that. We look at the MACD. There is some bullish, there's not bullish divergence. You have higher lows in the histogram, but you also have higher lows in the price. So I guess it's not bullish divergence, but I think really, even though it kind of looks like it's decaying in the bearish momentum, mark my words, I think right here you're actually going to start to build bearish momentum. I think this is going to keep coming down, and you're going to see this cross below the zero. TAO, Bittensor, is likely to break down from this area. I think we are in a bearish formation overall on the 1 hour. 4 hour time frame, you're at this area where you found resistance before. Up at the 60 area, you did break out of your downtrend here, which is nice to see. But you did it in a way that's like just so eruptive. It makes me think that you would come down, right? Imagine here you've got your lower highs, lower lows. You broke out in a way that was very eruptive, and then what did you do from that eruptive point? You formed another downtrend. That's all you did. So from here, you might be forming another downtrend, right? Like the same kind of reaction here on the RSI provided a little bit of a move up, and then you rolled over. A little bit of a move up, you probably roll over. The MACD right at the zero, right? These oscillators, the orange and the blue line here, right at the zero, perfect area to reject, perfect area to come down, right at a point of contention. And the stochastics have been overbought for quite some time. This is all you did with it. Not impressed, man. Not impressed at all. When was the last time you were overbought this long? It was about here. Well, that was your high point from this little break area, and then you came down. Doesn't mean that you're going to do this from here. It doesn't have to be like this. It could be like this. It could be sloppy at first, but slowly leading up to that. However it works, whether you're moving down immediately or it's a little sloppy from here, maybe you even get a slightly higher high, whatever the case may be. I really don't believe that you move up too much higher. I don't even believe at this point you get to 240 to 250. It could happen still, but I don't believe it. That's not the prediction. The prediction is that you will go lower, likely below not just $200, but below these lows here. And that should happen, if I had to guess, within the next 2 weeks. Might even happen within the next 2 days. Who knows? You can move down. You can definitely move down at a faster pace, but I would think within the next 2 weeks you will be below $180. Yeah, you're at 215 now, so lower for sure. We look at the daily time frame, and let's just see here, from a low here to a high here. Found support at the golden ratio. That's nice. You're at the 1272, finding resistance. You know, if you come back down here, the next target area would be this zone here, which would be about 171 to 132. I mean, anywhere and everywhere in that zone could be found as support, but you probably do go down there at some point in this month of June. Daily time frame, the RSI looks bearish beyond all belief. Oh, nice. You're probably going to set yourself up for some bullish divergence here. You're probably going to get a higher low, which definitely implies you see a lower low, but I think there's enough causality there, enough reason to believe that you find support somewhere probably closer to 150 to 170 instead of 132. I don't think that you go that low. I mean, you might even find 170, 165, somewhere right there. So that's not bad. The MACD is undoubtedly bearish on the daily time frame. The stochastics are coming up for a breath of fresh air, but you can definitely do that and then come back down, do that and then come back down. I think that you're just going to come back down here. But overall, TAO, looking at the short-term stuff, it does make me immediately bearish to prices below this low. But on the daily time frame, I think that you are due for some type of move up. So maybe inevitably you do come back to this 240, 250 area, something like that. Maybe by the end of the month you're up here. First you go a little bit lower and then you come back up here. That could happen. Maybe you move a little bit lower and then you just form a lower high relative to this high here. That could happen as well. But I don't think that on this attempt below this low, I don't think that that'll be the last time you see prices above $200. I would assume that you move back up here one last time, maybe up a little bit higher, and then you really start to get your freak on to the downside. But that'll take time. That'll probably be over a month before we see prices that are anywhere near this low or below that low. But in time you will. I want to look at the short-term stuff real quick. Or not the short-term, I'm sorry, the long-term stuff real quick. On a weekly time frame here, you can see that time and time again, you've held this area as support. Time and time again, you have been finding resistance in this area here, right? This trend line here. You've got descending highs with a flat bottom. It's kind of like a descending triangle overall. I wouldn't call it that. It's sloppier than a descending triangle, but still to some degree, right? You can kind of see it here. My expectation is that, you know, double bottoms happen, triple bottoms happen, quadruple bottoms don't happen, quintuple bottoms don't happen, sextuple bottoms don't happen. So as you continue to find support in this area, as you get weaker and weaker, and this is kind of a one-off, that actually was stronger, but weaker reactions off of this area for support, I think that inevitably when you knock on this door, it's going to open up and you're going to plummet below. Whenever you look at this, right, the TAO B chart has the all-time history. Whenever you look at this and you go below, whenever you go below these levels, I would thoroughly, absolutely, without a doubt, no question, believe that we go down at least to here, below $100. If not, most probably somewhere below that line. From a low to a high, the golden ratio is right there, $104 to $82. It's a perfect area to find support. That's where, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but that's where the geniuses will be buying for the bear market lows. And then the 786, 886 area is also a complete possibility. Something between $60 to $44 is possible. I'm not suspecting that that's what's going to happen, but it is possible. From a high here down there, I mean, most cryptos do drop 90% in their first bear market. This would be your first bear market. The only difference here is technically you're not in a bear market, you're in a distribution phase. And you've been doing that for quite some time. So because you've been in this kind of stagnant sideways distribution phase, it's been happening over, you know, the years since January of 2024, or maybe actually March of 2024. You might actually soften the blow and not see a greater than 90% drop. However, most cryptos do see a 90 to 95% drop or more in their first bear cycle. That could take you down to prices at around 60 to 44 bucks. And on the chart, you know, from here to here, and then from here to here, this seems like the big drop. This doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But percentage-wise, You know, let's say you buy right there at that trend line or right there at that resistance line there. I mean, that's a difference of 35 to 50%. In other words, what I'm saying is, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you buy in this area, if you're trying to buy in this area just below $100, it might be best to DCA over time because you never know if you go lower. I highly doubt that you're going to move down, your bear market's over, and then you move up like that. I highly doubt that's what happens. You're probably going to accumulate for some time. And if you bide your time, if you DCA, even if you get a wicked pump, if you bide your time, you'll probably get multiple opportunities to buy. And you get in heavier and heavier on those opportunities. Not financial advice. That's just what I do, what I would do. Hit that like button. Subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.